The Louvre Museum in Paris, considered one of the most secure structures in the world, was robbed in broad daylight. The kind of scenes we usually only see in Hollywood movies can actually happen in real life, right in front of everyone. Welcome once again to Noble's Creation. Viewers, on the morning of October 19, 2025, the Louvre Museum opened to the public as usual. Guards were at their positions, and tourists from all over the world were entering the museum. It was 8:30 a.m., and the museum had been open for about 30 minutes.
That's when something unusual happened on the side of the museum facing the River Seine. A truck, typically used for lifting furniture to higher floors, pulled up and stopped near the museum wall. This truck had a mechanical lift attached. But it wasn't there to move any furniture, and the people inside clearly had other intentions. There were 4 individuals in total. They were wearing yellow and orange safety vests, just like construction workers. But their faces were covered with masks.
2 of them, without hesitation, extended the mechanical lift and reached a first-floor balcony of the museum. That balcony leads to one of the museum's most magnificent sections, the Galerie d'Apollon, also known as the Gallery of Apollo. This is the gallery where France's royal treasures are displayed. But there was one major obstacle: a thick, reinforced glass wall. After reaching the balcony, they pulled out an industrial-grade disc cutter from their bag. Within seconds, they cut a hole in the glass and made their way inside.
Everything happened so fast that the security guards hadn't even realized what was going on. But the action triggered the museum's alarm system, and guards inside the gallery spotted the thieves. The thieves didn't care. They threatened the guards with power tools and continued their operation. The guards immediately followed protocol and began evacuating tourists from the gallery. Panic quickly spread throughout the museum.
One eyewitness later said the entire place was filled with fear and confusion. People had no idea what was happening. While police and staff were busy evacuating visitors, the 2 thieves calmly smashed the display cases, grabbed 9 valuable items, and exited through the same hole back onto the balcony. Below, their 2 accomplices were waiting on scooters. They quickly came down using the lift, got on the scooters, and sped away. Everything happened so quickly that no one had time to react.
According to police, the thieves were inside the museum for only 4 minutes, and the entire operation, from parking the truck to escaping, took just 8 minutes. As they were leaving, they even tried to set the truck on fire to destroy any evidence or fingerprints. But a brave museum staff member intervened and stopped them. The thieves escaped along the riverside, then took the Paris ring road and fled via the A6 motorway. This daylight robbery was a major embarrassment for France.
But the real question is, what exactly was stolen? What were the thieves targeting? When the damage was assessed, a wave of shock spread across the country. The stolen items had monetary value, but their historical and cultural significance was priceless. According to the Ministry of Culture, 8 valuable items were stolen from the Louvre. Now, you might be thinking, earlier I said 9. Yes, the thieves took 9 items, but one of them fell onto the road during their escape. It was a 170-year-old crown belonging to Empress Eugenie. Empress Eugenie, the wife of Napoleon III, had this crown specially made in 1855. While trying to pull it through the hole in the glass, it got stuck because the opening was too small. They forced it out, damaging it, and it was further scratched when it fell onto the road. The museum director later said it might be repairable, but the loss of the other 8 items cannot be replaced. Among them were a beautiful tiara and a brooch belonging to Empress Eugenie.
an emerald necklace of Empress Marie-Louise, the second wife of Napoleon Bonaparte, along with matching earrings. Also included was a sapphire set belonging to Queen Marie Emile and Queen Hortense, a tiara, a necklace, and an earring, and a special piece known as a reliquary brooch. All of these items dated back to the 19th century and were decorated with thousands of diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, and other precious stones. These weren't just pieces of jewelry. They were part of France's royal history.
An estimate suggests the raw materials were worth around $2 million. But considering their historical significance, even $100 million or even $1 billion wouldn't be enough to replace them. That's why they are considered priceless. What's even more surprising is that the thieves didn't touch the most valuable items in the gallery. For example, the famous Regent diamond, worth around $60 million. The Sancy and Hortensia diamonds were also there, but the thieves ignored them completely.
This suggests they were working on a specific order and knew exactly what they were looking for. The Paris prosecutor's office stated that this isn't just a financial loss, it's a loss to French history. But this raises a serious question. In one of the world's most famous museums, visited by millions every year, how did security fail? When the investigation began, several shocking details came to light.
French media reported that in the area where the theft occurred, 1 out of every 3 rooms had no CCTV cameras. Yes, in the world's largest museum, surveillance coverage was incomplete, and the external cameras didn't fully cover the balcony where the thieves entered. But an even bigger shock came when French Senate member Nathalie Goulet told the BBC that the alarm that went off was only a general alarm. There was also a localized alarm system installed at the balcony, but it had been broken for several days. If that alarm had been working, security would have been alerted immediately. The museum director acknowledged this failure and offered her resignation to the Ministry of Culture. However, her resignation was not accepted. This robbery has raised serious concerns about museum security across France. And this wasn't the first incident. Back in 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the same museum. A former employee stole Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting by hiding it under his coat and walking out. It was recovered 2 years later in Italy when he tried to sell it. That incident made the Mona Lisa the most famous painting in the world. Then, in 1976, the sword of King Charles X was stolen from the museum. 3 thieves broke a window, entered, and stole the sword, and it has never been recovered. In 1998, the museum was again targeted. Thieves removed a painting from its frame in broad daylight and escaped. That painting is still missing today. And now, after 27 years, another major robbery has taken place. Currently, more than 60, and according to some reports, over 100 investigators are working on the case. Fortunately, on Saturday, October 25, 2025, police arrested 2 suspects who are believed to be connected to the robbery. Police collected around 150 DNA samples and fingerprints from the scene, including from helmets, gloves, and inside the truck. According to authorities, the arrests were made based on DNA matches. One of the suspects also has a prior record of gold theft. Police believe they will soon identify and arrest all those involved, including the mastermind. However, it has not yet been confirmed whether the stolen items have been recovered. After the robbery, the museum remained closed until October 2nd. Even now, the Apollo Gallery remains closed. Police say this was a highly organized and professional operation, and the investigation is still ongoing. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you so much for your support and your kind comments. See you in the next amazing video.